Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about air cleaners. Since the air fuel mixture is to be burned in the combustion chamber of the cylinder, just like fuel being filtered, air should also be filtered and cleaned before entering into the cylinder. The dust particle in the air, when mixed with oil, act like abrasive material which deteriorates the cylinder wall or liner, piston or rings, and hence decrease the engine performance. The characteristics of an ideal air cleaner includes high efficiency in dust removal from air, small restriction to the airflow, small and simplicity in design, and easy to mount, clean, and low in cost. The location of air cleaner on the vehicle affects cleaning efficiency, and it is one of the most important design parameters to be kept in mind while designing and developing the product. The dust concentration is maximum near the engine and is least in the region exactly above the engine. Hence, the air cleaner are mounted directly above the engine housing. Since tractors are to be operated in the field where dust is always significantly high, periodic cleaning of air cleaner become very important and essential to have maximum and consistent engine efficiency. Oil bath type cylinder. It consists of wire mesh element and oil reservoir at the bottom. The atmospheric air enters the air cleaner through the window at the top with a spill action where some impurities are retained in the pre-air cleaner chamber. The air passes through the air duct to the surface of oil bath and the air is reflected upward from the surface oil. The small impurities like dust and chaff etc. stick to the oil surface and are separated from the air. Then the air starts moving upward and passes through the mesh which further cleanses the air and oil drops in the air are separated while passing through this mesh. The leftover impurities are also retained by the mesh and get settled in oil bath. This oil bath or bowl and pre-cleaner chamber are to be cleaned periodically depending upon the dust conditions. The, the level of oil is to be maintained at specific level because the oil above the desired level result in restricting the airflow and might result in carrying or moving the oil with air reaching engine cylinder. This may lead to sudden increase in speed and sometimes can cause damage to the cylinder components also. Dry air cleaner. This type of air cleaner consists of paper filter element with a row of plastic fins around it. As the air from the atmosphere enters the cleaner, the plastic fins keeps it in high rotating speed between the casting and the filter element. This causes impurities to separate out from air due to centrifugal action, which are thrown out to the casting wall from this flow down. Air without these dust particles then passes through the paper element which removes any further impurities and clean air then goes to the engine. Turbocharger. It is a centrifugal compressor driven by turbine which is run by exhaust gas to compress incoming air in the engine which increase pressure. With increased pressure, the weight of or amount of fuel entering the same space inside the engine is increased. In this way, the burning of gas is more efficient inside the engine chamber, and this eventually result in greater performance of the vehicle from the same displacement of the engine without need of the larger displacement engine. Exhaust gas contain a significant portion, that is around 30% of heat energy being generated due to burning of fuel. In turbocharger, exhaust gas are used to drive a compressor, which have the following advantages to be used in diesel engine. Engine output power is increased for a given engine displacement and has better power or weight ratio. Engine torque characteristics are enhanced, better energy performance at high altitude, better fuel economy, and exhaust gas emission. Superchargers, the device powered by crankshaft used to compress incoming air of the engine is called supercharger. Supercharger is used to increase the volumetric efficiency of an engine by feeding both air and fuel at high pressure. The supercharger is turned directly by the engine through belts. The response of the same is instantaneous and a sudden increase in power can be obtained. Generally, in the natural aspirated engine, the charge is stuck in the cylinder by the vacuum created due to downward motion of the piston in the cylinder. With supercharger, the charge is induced with pressure, which increases the density of the charge, and hence the weight of charge per stroke is increased. As the weight of the charge is increased, the power output also increased up to extent of 40% with supercharging. At high altitude, since the air gets thinner, the need for supercharger increases as it compensates the air intake by making relatively denser or heavier air into the cylinder during the suction stroke. Since the supercharger increases the pressure, engine must be able to sustain higher forces, and also the fuel being used to have better anti-knock properties. However, in petrol engine, when density of fuel is increased keeping the fuel of same octane number, the compression ratio is to be increased to avoid detonation. But with decrease in compression ratio, the thermal efficiency also decreases, which is not preferred. Following are the three types of superchargers are being used: centrifugal supercharger, vane supercharger, Roots supercharger. Centrifugal supercharger. This is one of the most common used supercharger, which is driven by an belt and pulley. The air fuel mixture enters into the impeller of the supercharger, where this mixture is supercharged with pressure using the kinetic energy. The impeller runs at sufficiently high speed of around 80,000 rpm. The impeller are made of special material like alloy steel, which can withstand high stress being generated due to such a high speed of impellers. Vane supercharger. The rotating drum of supercharger is mounted with number of vanes, which are made of laminates of liner, and as this material have low friction, low coefficient of thermal expansion, and also runs without making any noise. As the drum rotates, the space between the body and the drum decreases from inlet to outlet, which decrease the volume and increase the pressure of at outlet. Roots supercharger. This consists of two roots of epicycloidal shape which are connected with each other by gears of same size to make these rotors run at same speed to generate pressure in the mixture coming out from the outlet, just like it happens in gear type pump. Although turbocharger are similar to supercharger as far as the purpose of their usage is concerned, both are used for increasing the density of air intake in the engine. But the major functional difference lies in their mode of driving mechanism. Turbochargers are driven by the exhaust gases, whereas the superchargers are directly driven by the belt pulley mechanism by taking a portion of power out of a engine. Although supercharger are easier to install, but its cost is more. So in this video we have seen about the valve, different types of valve, turbocharger and superchargers, and different types of superchargers. Thank you.